If you're watching this video, you or someone you know or love has cirrhosis of the liver. My name is Michael Wilkinson, and this is my story. In late 2011, I was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver. When I got diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver, I was diagnosed with end-stage cirrhosis. I was sick without even knowing I was sick. What happens, I'm going to tell you what the truth is about cirrhosis of the liver. What doctors won't tell you, or healthcare people won't tell you. It's a very nasty disease. My stomach first got diagnosed because my stomach inflated with fluids. And that's how I got diagnosed. I went to see a CAT scan. I got automatically from the CAT scan, they said I had cirrhosis of the liver because my stomach blew up with fluids. Because your liver isn't working, and what happens when you drink fluids, your liver can't process it, so the fluid seeps through the liver and goes into your abdominal cavity, which your stomach blows up. So this is very painful and uncomfortable, almost like you're pregnant. For you guys, you're pregnant. The only way to remedy this symptom is what they call as a parenthesis. Well, they take this long needle and stick it to your stomach and suck fluid out of your stomach that your liver couldn't process because you got cirrhosis. So I was going to get parenthesis two to three times a week. That's a lot. And I would get 10 to 13 liters of fluids out of me. That's how sick I was. I lost a lot of weight being sick. I lost 100 pounds. I was very sick. It's a very nasty disease. I was very sick. Then the next stage that happened to you is called anosmia. That's when, since your liver isn't working well, or anything at all, the ammonia builds up into your body. The ammonia only goes up to your brain and it messes with your brain. When you get anosmia because the ammonia on your brain, I turned into the devil. I turned into this crazy lunatic of a guy. I would destroy my house because I didn't know what I was doing. Your body just takes over, your mind takes over because of all this ammonia in your body, your mind. I went to a crazy man. I tore my house up. You know, and I would lose mindful consciousness. I wouldn't go unconscious, but my mind would be unconscious for 3 to 4 days. I would lose a week at a time. I'd be going to these episodes where I would just be out of it for a week. I would wake up, come out of it, and it'd be a week later with my house destroyed. You become very violent, and I became very violent. This is my story. I became very violent. I would attack my wife or anybody around me. Any caretakers, I would physically want to hurt them bad. I'm not on purpose, because my mind, that's how my mind worked. And the only way you can cure this episode is by taking a medication called lactulose. It's a syrupy cough medicine, really thick, and you gotta drink this stuff, take this medicine religiously. If you don't take enough, you can go into this episode and be crazy and lose days and weeks at a time. And you know, coming out of this episode, man, it's like a real downer. It's like you feel so bad. You're shaking. You're disoriented. You're trying to figure out what's going on in life, but you just can't. You know. And so back to this medicine, lactulose. You got to take a lot of it and often, because this is the only way to bring the ammonia, not let the ammonia go to your brain, and you freak out and become the devil. The side effect of this medication is you go to get diarrhea a lot. Because this is, I mean a lot, like you're spending hours on the toilet. But this is the only way that the pneumonia can get out of your body is by defecating a lot. So if you got to take lactose, I didn't take enough at the beginning. I had these terrible episodes until I finally met a doctor that gave me the right prescription, and I was a lot better then. Now, when you get cirrhosis, I thought when I got first diagnosed, I thought, okay, I'll give me a new liver. I need a liver transplant. Okay, sign me up for next week for liver transplant. That's not how it works. There's a system to this cirrhosis of liver, get new liver transplant. You gotta have, it's called a MEL score. So your MEL score determines if you qualify when you get a liver transplant, and that's if you do, because more people will die from not getting a liver transplant than live and get a transplant. So more people are gonna die. Hopefully that don't happen to you. So this MEL score is rated on how sick you are. And I don't care what anybody tells you, this is how the system works. You literally gotta be on your deathbed, getting ready to die before you're able to get a liver transplant. That's how bad you gotta be. You gotta be literally on your deathbed, making amends with your maker and getting ready to die. Then you get a transplant if there's one for you. If somebody donates the liver for you get a transplant, plus it's got to match your blood type. So, and let me tell you this. I live in Florida. I went to 3 liver transplant hospitals. They're not all created equal. So do your research and to find the right hospital that will accept you, that is good quality work. Like I said, I live in Florida. The first 2 hospitals I went to weren't that good. They were really messed up. I went to one hospital and they want to do this test on me that would check out my heart or something, and they want to do this catheter with contrast. Doing that would have killed my liver and kidney. I mean, to the point where I would have needed a transplant in 5 years. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that test. I'd rather take my chances. They said, get out. We don't want you. Get out. So I got kicked out of that transplant hospital. So I went to another transplant hospital. That was even worse. Just crazy. So do your research on picking the closest to where you got to live at, because you got to live pretty close within hours of these transplant hospitals, because you can get a phone call in the middle of the night. You got to go. You got to have a bag packed, or whoever taking care of you got to have a bag packed, because you won't be physically or healthy enough to do this on your own. You'll be flat on your bed dying. I'm sorry to say that's the truth of this. So it's bad. Any disease is bad. And when you're dying, you got diagnosed with this death sentence. It's played with my head. So, so knowing you're dying and feeling like you're dying, because I felt terrible 24/7. Like I said, I lost 100 pounds. I would eat very little because I didn't have much appetite. I threw it right back up. We had to buy a case of these throw-up bags, a box, a case of these. I was throwing up 2 or 3 times a day because you're sick, you want to die, because you are dying. I mean, you just want it to end. I even contemplated suicide. That's how bad I was. That's how sick I was. I just wanted the illness and the pain and suffering to stop. I really almost committed suicide. You really think that way. You just want to be over with. But that's not good for anybody. If you do that, you're just gonna hurt the people you leave behind. I had a wife. I have a wife and children. My mother and father are still alive. Then I thought about how much it would hurt them if I committed suicide. At one point, I even planned my own funeral. That's how bad it gets, you know. It can get. I was pretty bad. I was probably the worst case scenario of everything could go wrong with cirrhosis liver. It happened to me. I've been planning my own funeral, you know, to the T, you know. So I'm sure nobody's going to tell you this. The doctors aren't going to tell you. Nobody in the health profession can tell you this. You're going to be sick. You're going to be miserable. You're not going to care because you're dying. You're not going to care about light. You're not going to care about anything because you're dying. You know, what about this? I don't care about that. I'm dying. And you feel it though too. I want to tell you more what happened to me when I had cirrhosis of the liver. I was so sick, like I said before, the cirrhosis of the liver ate up my muscles. I was very skinny because I was very weak. I couldn't even open up a soda bottle, the cap. That's how weak it makes you. When you're home, you have this episode with anosmia. I'm going to tell you the truth here that nobody else will tell you. See that I can, best way to tell you. When you don't take enough lactulose, you sleep in bed because you're always tired, you're going to defecate while you're sleeping. Then you're going to roll around in that defecation, that bodily fluids. Therefore, you'll be covered in feces. And this is when you have an anosmia episode. That's just the truth, because that happened to me. I also found myself a few times, I would wake up from an episode in a hospital room, tied to a bed like an animal. They will tie you down, hands and feet, and tie you down. They will even put muffins on your hands, like so you can't use your hands, and a mask over your face, like a piece of meat. That's the most disturbing thing about this. There's lots of disturbing things about cirrhosis of the liver. I found myself that way a few times. It's really demoralizing. You're alone, tied to a bed, and you can't move or anything. When you're in a hospital, when I was in the hospital a lot, especially the last year, and even more so the last 6 months before my transplant, you still got to take the lactulose. But you can't get out of, once you're in the hospital, you can't get out of bed and go to the bathroom because you're so weak. And they don't want you getting out, the hospital doesn't want you getting out of bed. So therefore, you will defecate and urinate all over yourself in this hospital bed. 3 or 4 times a day, maybe more. You push the call button for the nurse said, "Yeah, what do you want now?" And you're just like, "I need to be cleaned." Half an hour to an hour later, they might come in and clean you up. And then after they clean you up, within 20 minutes or so, you'll be doing all your defecating, urination all over yourself again. And you will lay in your urination and feces for, it seems like forever. But it could be short, it could be long time, all depends how many patients they got going on. Last thing I'm going to say about cirrhosis of the liver and this not taking enough lactulose is in having this parent and anosmia. I lost my ability to walk. I just woke up one morning and I could not walk. And later on, I lost my ability to talk. As you can tell by my voice, I never fully recovered. This is not my normal voice. This is how my voice is for the rest of my life due to anosmia. I lost my ability to walk and talk for about 2 to 3 months. I had to go to therapy, learn how to walk again, and talk again. I never recovered from my walking. I have balance issues like you wouldn't believe. 5 years out, I still have balance issues. I can't walk right. I'm in constant fear of falling and injuring myself. That's just the way it is, because the ammonia gets into your brain, but you don't take enough lactulose, and it messes your body up, mentally and physically. Because I have trouble walking, I can't walk far, and I have really bad balance issues. Been to therapy for that, doesn't help. I lost my ability to speak and talk, and I still, can you hear from my words I'm saying, I never reclaim my ability to talk. But I kind of gave up hope, but then I regained hope. My words to you, if you were bad as I am, hang in there and hope you'll get a liver transplant. You gotta keep hope. You gotta keep on fighting to live. This is what happens to people can happen to people with cirrhosis, because all this stuff I told you happened to me.